Nefarious by DAMEON THORN.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Nefarious. I am DAMEON THORN, and today we have Caitlin Christine. Caitlin is a model, a cosplayer, a social media star. She started posting in TikTok in 2019 and has accumulated over 2.3 million followers and highlights over 50 cosplay looks. Let's get to know Caitlin. What's up, Caitlin?
How are you? It's so nice to virtually meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right, let's get into it because this is our first time meeting. Not met you before. Where are you from?
I am currently in California.
Hey.
Cannot complain because it is December. I'm in full Christmas mode.
Yes.
And I'm in shorts right now, so I cannot complain.
I am also from California, and usually on Christmas we go to the beach.
Yeah, you can't complain. That's honestly
complain. Wait, so did you say you're born and raised in California?
No, I'm originally from the East Coast, but I live in California. This is kind of where
you're stationed. What part of the East Coast? What part of the East Coast were you at?
I was in Connecticut.
Oh, nice. When did you make the big move to LA?
I moved, actually, I don't live exactly in LA, but I made the big move in, how many years ago was it? 4 years. And I was kind of over the cold weather, and I was just very excited to kind of have more opportunities and to start somewhere new.
Absolutely. I was just in New York and it started getting cold, and I was like, this is not for me. This is not for me. I need to go back home. And I got the hell out of there. And now there's a giant storm coming. So I was like, perfect.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibe. She ain't it.
Nope.
She ain't it. Not for me. No. Okay, let's get into it. How did you just get started in the world of content creation? Where, when, how, what inspired you? Give me the tea. What happened?
So I started off as a photographer. What I wanted to go to school for, and probably when I was 21 is when I got into modeling a little bit. I was like, okay, what if I'm on the other side of the camera? Because I used to model for myself. I would do the self-timer. But then I was like, okay, this is a lot of fun. Like, let me do more modeling. And I went kind of full force in the modeling world. I'm very short, so I didn't do anything fashion runway, but I did a lot of like makeup companies and portrait shots. And then Instagram was Instagram, but it was still kind of new at the time. Like, it was only a few years old compared to now where it's this massive, you know, company. And I started, building a few years ago. And with apps like TikTok, I was really able to push my content out further. But yeah, that's kind of how I started.
And it just happened.
Yeah, I'm super grateful.
When did you sort of see the shift of I'm starting to post now and I'm seeing it take off? Was there a moment where you're like, oh shit, this is something?
Yeah, so I definitely worked my butt off for years and just doing, photo shoots. And then once TikTok came around, and I grew a pretty small base, but then TikTok came and my videos started to get a few million views, and I was like, what is going on? And I, at one point, made the transition from modeling into cosplaying. So I was enjoying it and loving it. And I was loving what I was doing. And I think others could see that I was loving it. And then it kind of just took off, and I'm super grateful. But yeah, there was definitely a time when I was like, what is going on? But yeah.
Well, it's great to hear that you have a photography background, because it clearly shows your attention to detail in all of your work. So I hope that it's appreciated, your art. When people look at it, they're able to tell that a lot of time went into it.
Oh, thank you.
Just letting you know, girl, you should be proud.
Thank you. I definitely drive some of my friends crazy because I am so, again, detail oriented. I'll be like, can you just move this one hair out of the way and just very.
Look, you gotta be like that. You gotta be like, how else as an artist, which you are, and as every artist, we're all going to be very particular about the product because it's your art and it's a message that you want to convey. And if it's one little hair that's out of place, best believe go fix that hair.
Yes.
So I'm going into a whole artist breakdown. Okay, so you started posting, getting all this traction. TikTok is blowing up, and then you start doing brand deals and collaborations, and you're headed to premieres. What has been one of the biggest highlights? Because there has been a lot of highlights.
Oh, goodness. Being able to do this full time has been a huge highlight because being a creative and a creator, it's sometimes doing what you do, like what you love to do full time is sometimes you're not able to. So the fact that I get to do this as a career is amazing.
Right.
And I would say going to the premieres was definitely like the recent one, which was the Eternals. And it's such a weird and surreal moment when you're like walking and you're seeing celebrities and other amazing creators that you look up to, and you're just kind of like, what? Like, I'm here. And I never take any of it for granted because, you know, every day is a great, you know, it's just another, like a blessing to be here and to do what I do. So every moment is just so, I appreciate it all.
Oh, wow. Look at you. She's just humble. She's just humble, but she just hung out with John Cena the other day. So it's okay. It's okay.
You can't even see him, though. You can't even see him. I don't know if you know that joke.
Oh, what? Sorry, I missed it. What'd you say?
Oh, the John Cena joke where it's like you can't even see him.
Oh, right. I met John Cena years ago at one of the Teen Choice Awards, and I shook his hand, and I was like, I am a tiny human. This man is large. This man is a very big human being.
Oh, he is, you know, he's so like,
he's just jacked. Muscular. Yeah.
He is so sweet and so funny. Even that, talking about like what moments, like that was such a crazy moment for me. Going to San Diego Comic-Con, meeting John Cena on a one-on-one, and then going on stage with him, and like literally you see like the shots of him, and then you just see my head in the background. I'm like, what is this? What universe am I in right now?
So cool though. I love it. And it's all about your hard work and the time that you've taken to make this happen, and all of these different cosplay looks that you've created. Tell me about can you tell me about your top 3? I know that's hard because you have like so many.
There's so many.
They're like your babies, right? They're like, ugh.
Yes. And it's funny because I always refer them as almost people. I'm like, oh, I'll get into her tomorrow. Like kind of like their own, you know, entities, because when I get into the cosplay, it's kind of like embodying the character.
Right.
Compared to when I was modeling, it was just me, but it's like, okay, I'm going into Harley Quinn today. I get to act a little crazy, and how, you know, my mannerisms. I would have to say my 3 favorite. This one's tricky. It's like, is it my 3 favorite that I love to do personality wise? Is it my favorite shoots that I've done, or
the outfit, or how you feel in it? It's transformation. Are you thinking about acting? Are you thinking about that transition, or is photography and cosplay and modeling kind of where you're at? Or
I would love to be an extra on something just for fun. Like acting is definitely always in the cards. I never say no to anything where I'm like, oh, like maybe one day I'll be a singer. Probably not, can't sing, but I will never completely throw out the card.
Right.
But it would be so cool to definitely be in something like, whether it's a movie or TV show, or I've been in a few commercials in the past, but I haven't done anything recently. But back to the other question where it's my favorite cosplays, I think I have the answers now.
What is it?
So as you can tell, I have a wig on now, but I have red hair.
Okay.
And I love my Wanda. Love her.
Yeah.
Always do. And so my Halloween Wanda outfit, which is also just kind of for comic book version, that is probably one of my favorites, as well as a costume I've never worn, which is my Princess Fiona from Shrek, because we all love Shrek. I haven't worn it yet because I wear it around, but I haven't filmed or shot anything in it yet because I don't know why I'm like this. But it is one of my favorites.
I'll tell you my favorite is Lord Farquaad.
I was gonna say that next.
That is my favorite. I was like, she done did that.
It is honest. I was truly gonna say that as my third because it was such obviously a silly look, but I got to do it with one of my best friends. She was Shrek, crushed it as Shrek, Rebecca Seals, and it was just so funny just having the wig and the beard and just acting a fool. So that was a lot.
And you can see you're having fun with it. And it's so right. I love that. All right. So let's get into some interests. What is she binging? What is she watching? What is she a fan of where you're like, oh, this is my thing? Not even right now, but like previously and right now.
Oof. So right now I'm on a Supernatural binge.
She took it back. She said, I'm going to watch 87 seasons of this show.
Because I never watched it. And I have a lot of friends who are obsessed with it. And I was like, oh, okay, let me start it. And I've been binging it for probably a month and a half. I'm on season 8. So I'm ripping through these.
Oh, you have gone through it.
I am ripping through. I went through all of season 7 yesterday.
Wait, all of it? Aren't these like 24, 26 episode seasons?
Granted, I was like on episode 5, but I got from like 5 to 23 all yesterday.
Holy shit. Okay, well, are they hour long or 30 minutes?
They're like 40 minutes, but okay. Granted, I was doing work as I was watching, but I was like,
I'm all judging you. I'm like, girl, how are you doing? Where?
I'm like literally like writing emails and I'm like looking, I'm like, Dean is doing what right now?
I mean, I do that shit all the time. No, I'm just totally joking. I have stuff on in the background all the time when I'm working.
Sometimes you just need to have a distraction, but Supernatural is definitely my binge right now. Mm-hmm. Love Dean and Sam so much. I'm also very big in the anime world. That is like my guilty pleasure, just like binging through anime series. Like I love Black Clover. I love obviously Attack on Titan. That is my show.
Right.
I cannot wait to come back. I am a huge Eren Yeager stan.
Let's go.
I know what happens. I'm not going to say anything to spoil the interview because I know I've read the manga, but I'm just going to not hurt my feelings.
Oh, she's got the insight. Oh, she literally said, I read the book. The book is so much better. She was one of the...
I only, because I really don't read the manga as much, but I saw a spoiler, and I was like, no one's going to spoil this for me more, so I read it.
You have to. When you're a big fan of something, you got to. I just talked to JoJo, Jordan, and yeah, you guys, I know, yeah, he's like, tell her I said hi.
He is so sweet. I was gonna say, tell him I say hi back, but
well, I just talked to him, so
I know I'll message him after. He's very sweet.
But he was like, I was like, I don't watch trailers. I don't want anything spoiled for me. So if I have something spoiled for a show that I like, best believe, I'm gonna go read that manga. Like, why not? No. Yeah, I told him I didn't watch the SpiderMan trailer, and he was like, what? You didn't watch the SpiderMan trailer? I'm like, I just want to go into the movie very blind and just enjoy it because I love Marvel and I don't want to. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
And it's hard with the Spider-Man, this particular movie, because there's been so many leaks and so many, like, people just not trying to ruin it, but they're just trying to get the scoop on it. And I'm like, I just want to enjoy it as a Spider-Man fan. I've been, big on Spider-Man. As I said to you earlier, I'm a millennial, so Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man. It is what it is. I love him to death, and I want to experience this movie as someone who just wants to enjoy the movie and not as a creator, just as a fan.
Right. Exactly. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So are you a game? Oh, sorry. What were you saying? Go ahead.
That's because people always try to ruin something, and I'm like, please let me just have this one thing.
Yeah, I totally get that. Just don't. All right, let's jump into music because Damien, I'm a musician. And if it's one thing I want to talk about all the time is music. So what did you grow up listening to and what are you listening to now?
Oh goodness, my range of music is pretty out there. I listen to honestly every genre, and it's on shuffle. And when you listen to it, you're like, "What? Like, what does she like?" I like everything. There's honestly very few things I don't like, and even if I don't like it at first, I'll listen to it 3 times and I'm like, "Oh, I love it." But generally, my kind of music, I love my oldies, and oldies being pop 2K. I love my Britney Spears.
Hell
I
yeah.
love
And she's free.
we love
I followed it. I huge Britney Spears fan here. Went to all the not all the concerts, but the last one I went to was the Femme Fatale tour. One of the best shows I've ever been to.
yeah, you can't get me on my Britney wave because as
We got
again,
to
like,
come back and just have a Britney episode if you're down.
yes,
Let's do it.
because we, grew up with Britney and she was such, and sometimes I almost feel bad for Gen Z because I have a few friends who are like in their early 20s and they don't understand the impact that was Britney Spears. They're like, yeah, I kind of know of her. And I'm like,
kind of know of her.
I was like, she is literally just
Everything.
so iconic and she broke the walls down for so many things. And even when it comes to mental health and the paparazzi being toxic and just being a baddie, she was everything. So we stand Britney Spears, and I will still put all of her stuff on repeat. And we
Absolutely.
love Britney.
My Spotify Rewind had Britney in it. I was like, yeah. During this entire trial, I was playing Blackout. I was like, this is what it is. This is what it is. Sorry, get with it.
Song that isn't a bop. That's what I'm saying. Like every single song hits.
You got to come back and we got to do just a Britney Spears.
Just
Literally
Spears.
just a Britney. We'll talk about it. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, what are you listening to now?
That's generally, I think I'm a very nostalgic person, and
Okay.
I like to listen to oldies where it's like, not even oldies. Sometimes I do listen to like 90s, 80s, but I would say my music has kind of stayed the same. Like I still like my older music. I like things that remind me of a place and time where I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember where I was in 2007 when this song came out. And yeah, is there anything? Also, anything TikTok songs, those get stuck in my head and I will sing it and sing it. Like some of them, I'm like, is this even a song? It's just like,
come and get your girl. She be trying to like that was just in my head for like 3 weeks, and I'm like, what actual song is it? I did not look it up.
Yeah. I love the one where it's like, back in the day, me and you, baby.
Right.
I love that one, and I love the Miley Cyrus one where it's like, what does it mean?
What does it mean? Yeah, it's so funny. I love that.
I just listen to in my brain. It's just constantly on repeat.
I definitely found a Spotify playlist that has all the TikTok songs, and I will go through it and listen to it. I will send it to you. I will email it to you.
Oh, please. Yes. I would love that.
Okay, let's jump into the podcast. It's called Nefarious. What is something nefarious that you've done in your past that you would like to share? Have you ever been a bad, evil person where you're like, this makes me feel some type of things and I should have corrected it, or it was just fun and I did it?
So something kind of like thrill seeking?
Just it kind of, maybe it was a little bad. Maybe. Do you got anything?
I have to say, as much as I drove my mother crazy in high school, I was pretty good.
You didn't sneak out. You didn't do anything like that.
I snuck out, and Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I snuck out maybe once or twice to go swimming in someone's pool, and I was like, like it was nothing. So like, I would say, in my guilty conscience, I would be like, oh my goodness, like.
Right. So, totally get it.
I don't know if and I was the kind of person growing up, like I never stole anything. I was just very like a little too good sometimes where I'd be like, wait guys, like,
maybe always the voice of reason. Me guys, maybe we shouldn't do this. This is not a good idea.
Literally, like I'd be with my friends, like we could just take this, and I'd be like, take my $20, just buy it.
Right. Oh, I love that.
So I was the voice of reason friend, but something just in general thrill seeking that I would like to do, I guess is just kind of not necessarily bad, but more thrilling is one of these days I'm going to go skydiving. That's something that I want to do that is, I guess, thrilling.
Right.
But the older I get, the more I'm like,
The older I get, I'm like my neck, my back, my hip, and my knees. And
my back cracking. Like,
yeah, girl, let me tell you.
I literally I feel that way. So I'm like, I need to do it sooner because the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, but what if something does go wrong?
What if something Jojo was just saying that he is going to do a video where he's going to jump out of the plane by himself. And so he has to do it 10 times before he can do it by himself. And I said, good luck to you. Because I will.
Mine and his answer were the same. He's like, oh yeah, jump out of a plane. But he's
jump
like,
out of a plane. Well, you know what? You guys should do a collab on that because he's about to jump out of a plane 10 times.
Oh my goodness, he'll just be SpiderMan and I'll go first. I'll be Mary Jane. It'll be very on brand. And I'll just go first.
Wait a minute. That's like the cutest, most fun idea that I've ever heard. You guys should totally do that. You guys should
like,
totally
what if
do
he
that.
doesn't catch me? What if it's like all of the other movies?
You're gonna, oh no, no. You're gonna be strapped to an instructor and he'll be jumping out by himself. That's how this is gonna, that's how the cosplay is gonna look like that.
We'll just have the guy jumping out with me dressed as a villan.
Right, right.
This could be a whole vibe. I think we just
is a whole thing. This is a multi-million views. That's what I think this is.
And just me crying like I'm falling, but
the whole time. But I'm the just hair flying in the air, and it's just all gross. Oh man, this is too much fun. Okay. All right. Have you heard of the metaverse?
Yes.
What are your thoughts? How do you feel, especially as a content creator in a digital space? How do you feel?
It is interesting, and I feel like we're still in the very early stages of like, and I think it's such an interesting concept to kind of wrap your mind around, like when Facebook literally changed their name to this, and which is kind of a big deal, you know.
It is a huge deal.
It's going to be much bigger than I think a lot of people are realizing. And I have my Oculus. I like to go in VR. But to know that, have you ever seen Ready Player One?
Absolutely. You were talking to a virtual character.
This is
what it is, girl.
Like, but it's just interesting because that's kind of, I feel like, the direction everything's going to go, where it's like, you know, it's kind of like the virtual world and being able to fully immerse yourself, because as of right now, everything is on our phones, and yeah, we can hold it, but we're not really in it, you know? And so this will be a whole different kind of experience. And I feel like over the next few years, we're really going to see some crazy stuff.
If you had a virtual world, how would it look?
Oh, I would decorate it with all of the pink stuff that I want. It would just be, mine would be so basic, but just so cute and extra. I would probably be a cat avatar because I love cats. So it's a very happy place.
A very happy place. People would enter and be like, hey, this is it.
It'd be like, is this a cat cafe? It's like, no, this is my space.
This is my home.
There's like 50 cats around me, and I'm just like,
there's just a bunch of cats literally walking around. Honestly, people would actually want to come visit your virtual world. Absolutely. It would be like you and Taylor Swift would have cats everywhere.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I'll just like go to her house and like just bring over more cats.
Bring up more cats. Be like, I bought you stuff, Taylor. It's just gonna be like, oh my God.
Cat Island, and it's just everyone can go to pet cats.
That's a great idea. It's gonna happen.
I know. You'll never catch me. Everyone will be like, where's Caitlin? Me in the metaverse, just petting all of the virtual kitties.
Oh, I love it. Well, Caitlin, this has been so much fun getting to know you and just hearing all about your life and your interests and what's going on next besides jumping out of a plane with JoJo. You have anything that's coming up? You just hung out with John Cena. Any people can find you anywhere, or are you have any projects that you want to plug?
I will be at LACon this weekend. And then after that, the end of this year is pretty relaxed. I'll be doing a few brand deals, a few group photo shoots, but overall, nothing crazy. But the beginning of next year will be a little, it's going to be fun. I think next year is going to be a very big year for me, and I am so excited.
That's so exciting to hear. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Caitlin Christine with 2 E's because the first E was taken by someone else. On Instagram, and then Kate Christine on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter.
Amazing. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. Make sure you follow wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.